Maurice Sendak made his name with the 1963 story of Max, the little boy in Where the Wild Things Are, who was sent to bed without any supper for being naughty, only to dream of monsters who think that he, Max, is the scariest thing they've ever seen. It's a childhood favourite.
His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up."
Last month, President Obama read it to a group of kids at the White House. Some children were absolutely terrified by the monsters in Where the Wild Things Are. Others adored them. But Sendak, who was a famous old curmudgeon in real life, always insisted on two things. One, that he would never lie to children. And two, that these creatures were based on people that he actually knew. According to Sendak, they're based on his East European relatives who would turn up at his home in New York when he was a boy. They grabbed and twisted your face, and they thought that was an affectionate thing to do, he's quoted as saying. They're foreigners, lost in America, without a language, and children who are petrified of them and don't understand that these gestures, these twistings of flesh, are meant to be affectionate. Sendak frequently had to defend his stories from critics who'd argue they went outside the norm of U.S. children's literature.
And primarily it is to be healthy and funny and clever and upbeat and not show the little tattered edges of what life is like. But I remember what life was like, and I didn't know what else to write about.
At this bookstore in Washington, D.C., the manager says sales of Sendak hold up well compared to other children's favourites like Roald Dahl.
I think the people know Roald Dahl a little more because he has more books. I think also Roald Dahl writes for a little older crowd. So I think people remember reading those stories on their own, whereas they read Maurice Sendak with their parents.
Maurice Sendak, dead at 83, but his life's work will live on in the hearts, minds, and quite possibly the nightmares of children and their parents the world over. Terret, Al Jazeera, Washington.